issue with pornography, which is not often discussed, which is that, remember, guys in particular, the brain is a learning prediction machine. And if I'm not trying to say that all pornography is bad, but there are good data to support the idea that if your brain learns to be aroused by watching other people have sex, it is not necessarily going to carry over to the ability to get aroused when you're one-on-one with somebody else, right? Especially young kids who are consuming a lot of pornography, the brain is learning sexual arousal to other people having sex.
So you're going to program yourself into being a voyeur?
Or just create challenges in sexual interactions with with a real partner. Right?
Mary Harrington has the 3 laws of pornodynamics, and the second law of pornodynamics is the law of fap entropy. And it says that whatever you start out wanking to will get progressively more intense over time. And I think that this is sort of speaking to that ever sort of escalating amount of the wildness that you need to watch in order to get an ever decreasing stimulus that comes back.
Yeah, and here I'm approaching this only through the lens of biology, right? I'm not a psychologist, and I'm certainly not political in any way. At least I have ideas about politics, but I just don't discuss them publicly. But the idea here is that I'm not saying pornography as a stimulus is bad or good. What I'm saying is it, in its availability and its extreme forms, it's a very potent stimulus, and very potent stimuli of any kind, extremely palatable food, extreme pornography, extreme experiences like bungee cord jumping, those set a threshold for dopamine release. And Anna will tell you that, and I'm sure she did, that the higher the dopamine peak, the bigger the drop afterwards. And it's not that you drop to baseline, you drop below baseline. So again, it's not, these things aren't good or bad, they just have to be controlled in a way, because when people are
I disagree with that. It's definitely bad. You know what I'm saying? I know someone personally who struggles with it. I see how they act. I see how they move. People who are addicted to pornography are more likely to be depressed, more likely to not be socially active with other people. You know what I'm saying? These people tend to be creeps. And when I say that creeps, I don't mean it in a way that, they're like pedophiles or anything, but they're just, they're weird. You know what I'm saying? They don't have no charisma. They don't know how to talk to people, etc. As society would look at them. Society would look at them as weirdos. You feel me? When really they're just depressed people who are just not sexually active. So, they use pornography as a scapegoat to make themselves feel better. When in reality, it's really just stirring up more problems for them psychologically. In my opinion, I think pornography shouldn't exist at all. But that's just me personally, because I can see what it can do to a person's brain and how it can change them. So this is how you know if you have a problem with pornography. Let's say you watch pornography, right? Let's say you tell yourself, okay, I'm going to just watch it today and then I'm never going to watch it again, right? Let's say you make it 2 days without watching it, right? That third day, you feel me? Especially if you're like extremely addicted to it. Because, everybody's experience is different, Some people are like semi-addicted to it. Some people are extremely addicted to it. Like to the point where they have to do it every single day. You get what I'm saying? So the people that are like extremely addicted to it, it's going to be really, really hard for them to like stop. You get what I'm saying? They may need to talk to somebody. That's how bad it is for them. For someone who probably watches it like maybe once or twice a week, that's still an addiction. Even though you're not watching it every single day, but you're still watching it consistently every week. So therefore, it's still an addiction. And if you're constantly telling yourself that you're not going to watch it, but then you go ahead and watch it anyway after those 2-3 days have passed, you have an addiction. And that's the problem with a lot of pornography users. They don't like to admit that they're addicted to it because they'll be bashed and shamed by society. But I think what a lot of people don't seem to understand when it comes to pornography is that most people, specifically guys, because it's really mostly guys that watch pornography. I mean, of course, there are women out there that are addicted to it too, but it's mostly men that watch pornography. I think I saw a statistic the other day that said something like around 70-something% of American men watch porn on a daily basis, bro. That's a lot. That's a lot. To say it's not a big deal and it really just boils down to how you handle it, I disagree with that. I would have to disagree with that.
Pursuing dopamine peaks over and over and over, and they aren't getting them. Typically, it's because they've been pursuing that activity far too often.
And you're saying perhaps take a break from that, and there may be an ability for yourself, your system to reset.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, all the things that we're talking about with pornography could...
Don't take a break. Just completely stop doing that. You feel me? Just completely stop. Like, just stop watching it. It's just that simple. It's not good for you.
Superimposed onto food, or could be superimposed onto real sex, right? That one also has to be cautious there, right? But the cycling back and forth between dopamine and low dopamine states, dopamine fasting as it were, but maybe just low dopamine states, these are natural rhythms that exist in the nervous system. We have to remember what the dopaminergic system is there for. I'll say it again, I wasn't consulted at the design phase, but we know as a generic form of motivation and pursuit, you can imagine the human or the animal that's hungry or thirsty. It needs energy to go pursue the thing. So the idea that you have to eat in order to get energy, that's true, but you need energy in order to get the thing to eat. So our nervous system has energy also, that's dopamine and epinephrine. Yes, we use glucose and glycogen, etc. when we're pursuing things, but the idea here is you're pursuing something, and then either by smell or by sight, you think you're on the right track. So you go down that track, and then, there it is. You get some berries, or you get, let's get prehistoric about this, or you get to kill the prey and eat it, and then it gives you energy to continue this pursuit or to reproduce. I mean, there's a reason why humans and other animals seek out reproduction, is that every species, but certainly humans, have two innate desires built into them. Whether or not they decide to actualize this or not is the desire to protect young and make more of its own species. Every successful species does that.
That's fact.
Even if people don't have children, in general, people care about children because of what they represent. Very few people dislike children. I mean, there are a few mutants out there that dislike children, but you always worry about those kinds of people.
What's happening, people?
Yeah, that's facts. That was yeah, that's interesting. Good video, very good video. Always say pornography is evil. I think it shouldn't exist. I think it's a bad thing for all men. You know what I'm saying? And it's really bad for young boys and kids that are exposed to the internet on a daily basis. You get what I'm saying? Because you gotta remember, it starts from a young age. It always starts from a young age. I'll tell y'all personally, I started watching porn when I was like 13. You get what I'm saying? Probably even 12. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't remember exactly, but I know it was either between 12 or 13 that I started watching it. Now, I wasn't like super addicted to it, so I was one of the lucky ones. I wasn't like super addicted to it, but I watched it a couple of times. You get what I'm saying? But the point I'm trying to make is that you shouldn't be watching it at all, because it's just not good for you. It's not good for the brain, and it can destroy you psychologically. You know what I'm saying? And that's not good. You get what I'm saying? So don't listen to people that try to tell you, oh, it's okay if you watch it every now and then. No, don't watch it at all. Get in the mind frame of just not watching it or entertaining it at all, and just realizing and seeing it for what it is, you will be so much better, bro. I promise you. You feel me? And I don't claim to be like no therapist or anything. I'm not. But I'm just telling you from my own experiences and from my own research that this is true, man. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I thought this was an interesting video to react to. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Hopefully y'all learned something. You get what I'm saying? And yeah, man, I'll see you on the next reaction.